Okay, so some of us still believe that a earthquake is going to occur in the US that is connected to these eclipses, okay? And that is connected to the devil comet, the dragon comet, the mother of dragons comet, okay? Which was involved with the April 8th eclipse, okay? And some of us made another prediction that a earthquake might occur on the April 21st because that's when this comet reached its peak, essentially, its peak brightness, its closest approach to the sun, okay? That didn't happen, but this comet is going to reach its closest approach to Earth on June 2nd, 2024, okay? So I wanted to explore that a little bit. So first I compared the April 8th date to the June 2nd date, right? Day of the eclipse and the comet's closest approach to Earth, right? And that was 56 days. And what stood out when I researched that is this 56 gone, okay? Essentially the shape that the Pythagoreans associated with Typhon, okay? And Typhon was basically this Greek deity, okay? This sort of huge dragon that was tied to, chaos, eclipses, earthquakes, that type of thing, okay? So, what is the comet called? The devil comet, the dragon comet. And here you have the days between the eclipse and its closest approach to Earth is 56, which connects to this dragon, Typhon. Okay. And Typhon is actually connected to the ancient Egyptian deity Set or Seth. Okay, right? So Set was jealous of his brother Osiris and, killed him, right? And I mentioned in other videos that these eclipses are very tied to ancient Egypt, right? Marks an X over the new Madrid fault, but also a region known as Little Egypt, right? Um, it would affect Memphis, Tennessee, right? Memphis is named after Memphis, Egypt. Um, the Mississippi River is very similar to the Nile River, right? A lot of strong synchronicities and parallels, okay? And here it is again with this comet being connected to Typhon and Set, right? And I mentioned this connection before because, um, right, so Set was jealous of his brother Osiris and killed him, and Cain was jealous of his brother Abel and killed him, right? That story in the Bible, which was also standing out because that's Genesis 4:8, and that's the date of the eclipse, right? April 8th, 4:8, Genesis 4:8, which also connects to the New Jersey earthquake, right? It was a 4.8 magnitude earthquake. So what's interesting about that is, so when that comet reached its peak on April 21st, right? Closest approach to the sun, maximum brightness, it went into the constellation Taurus, okay? And Osiris was sort of connected to a bull form, Apis, okay? And they were worshipped in Memphis, right? And then there's that Memphis, Tennessee connection again. And so we have this comet, the Dragon Comet, or the Seth Comet, okay, the Typhon Comet. And it went into Taurus, and I believe it, kind of killed Osiris, right? And I believe we can see this here, right? So again, that comet reached its peak on April 21st, right? Then closest approach to the sun, and then the closest approach to Earth is June 2nd. compare those days, it's 42 days. Googled 42 and ancient Egypt came up again, right? It's the 42 body parts of Osiris. In some traditions of the Osiris myth, Seth slays Osiris and distributes his body parts all over Egypt. Okay, so the Seth comet goes into the constellation Taurus, kills Osiris, and then I believe there's 42 body parts is 42 days, right? 42 days till resurrection, essentially. Okay, and 42 is also connected to the Bible again. It says there are 42 stations of Exodus, which are the locations visited by the Israelites following the Exodus from Egypt, right? So what is that region known as? It's Little Egypt, right? And 42 had these other connections, right? Very popular in media culture in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, known as the Question of Life, right? So something's going on with this number. Again, it seems like some type of cosmic pattern, cosmic cycle, cosmic ritual is sort of playing out, okay? Where I believe this sort of 7+ earthquake on the New Madrid fault will happen on or around, right, a few days, around June 2nd, 2024, likely triggering the Ramapo, New Jersey fault, okay, for another 7+ possibly, right? And which I think goes back to also Revelation 12:4, right? That it was 1,204 days from that conjunction that happened in December 21st, 2020, right? 1204 connects to 124 Revelation, where it talks about a dragon sweeping its tail to sweep down 1/3 of stars, right? The American flag, states are represented by stars. Okay, so I think this comet is like the Typhon comet, essentially, the Seth comet, the Cain comet, whatever you want to call it. Okay, like even if we consider this like the crucifixion, right? It's an X, it's a cross, right? Where they talk about Jesus, but there's a part of the Bible. I don't know if it's typically included, but it's called the harrowing of hell, right? Where Jesus went to the underworld. Okay, so what if we're not including that enough? The harrowing of hell, and I feel like that's what we're in, like even in a sense, almost even swallowed by Typhon, right? They talk about the sun being swallowed, they talk about being in the belly of the beast, right? In that sort of Ouroboros snake eating its own tail type of way. Okay, like we're in the harrowing of hell. That's why people got like eclipse sickness, and things became even more intense, more fatigued by people experiencing things, stabbings, and that type of stuff. Even more extreme weather, right? The underworld, harrowing of hell, where, resurrection with an earthquake, awakening on or around June 2nd. Okay? And I also looking out for something occurring on May 8th, right? Because in spiritual circles, they say the eclipse effect is like a month before and after. And I know that date is suspicious. Maybe around New Madrid, New York, possibly Alaska, or at least in the path of the eclipse, but definitely that June 2nd, 2024 date, give or take a day. Okay.